Hello, everyone. Steve here again with a few comments on our coffee chat that we had this evening. The count was, I think it was 13 of us there, which is a great size. Everybody had a chance to chime in. We even went to Tim Hortons afterwards for a continued chat because they wanted us out of there at 9 o'clock. So I think we were at Tim Hortons till about 10:30 or something like that. A number of us. How many were there at the Tim Hortons? There was one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. About 8 of us at Tim Hortons. We took up a couple of tables. Yeah, it was great. Our discussion topic was on self awareness, and that was a good chat for our group because it was quite a diversity of discussion. We had all the way from the mystical or the spiritual side of approach to life, right down to the, you know, skin and bones and blood and so on, like the corporal, very much the here and now and the physical, and everything in between. So everybody had their comments on self, and some people were saying that self is like there's a spiritual essence, and others were saying that it's you know mind, body, and so on. So it was great. I mean, I if I could pick out a few points, not really. It was just so all over the board, and let's see if there is. We actually had a round table discussion on it, and there was yeah, it was so diverse. It's hard for me to pick out any one thing. One lady talked about how her children, teaching her children, she finds a mirror of herself in there, and she's trying to, learn about herself through her children. And somebody said that self is ever evolving. It's like our karma, if you want to call it, or our past, is ever being created in the moment. So we're always showing up to a new self in a way, or a new and improved self. Uh, Somebody said that he was under the impression that many people, including himself at one point, I think, was oblivious to what the self was. Somebody talked about identity, self-identity, as being different than self-awareness. What else? Somebody said that the self is the totality of all that is. I didn't really understand that. I didn't understand a lot of this stuff, but I thought there was a lot of it was thought provoking. I don't think there was any real answers, really, any slam dunks here. Um, what else did I pick up on? So that we had a round table where people started with the introductions and people just saying what they thought about awareness. Then we had a discussion, and then somebody suggested we talk about the times in our lives, like a good example in our lives of when self-awareness grew in us, or self-awareness became important. That was interesting as well because people shared a lot of experiences um, about their faith. There was a lot of this coming out of programming talk. Like people were in religions that they just sort of inherited as the result of their parents and their family being religious, and then they had grown out of that, or they grew in a certain way from that. Somebody also talked about significant events as causing an opportunity for awakening. I don't think anybody gave an example, personal example of suicide, but that was suggested where somebody who was considering committing suicide, then decided not to. That could be an opportunity for an awareness, big time. Somebody did mention though several business failures in a row, which caused reflection, and we gave cause for reflection. There was a fair bit of talk about the Buddha. There's one guy there. I would call a serious student of the Buddha. There was a fair bit of talk about the Buddha's talk on karma, how we are as a result of many things that have gone before us, and the idea of skillfulness versus unskillfulness and action. I thought that was interesting. this guy said that we're more than just the body and the mind. We are also, and I think it took people by surprise, he said we're also our actions, which I thought was interesting. There was also talk of my upcoming walk. Some people were asking me about that. I'm going on a very long walk, potentially across North America, starting in early March. And one guy mentioned, he said that one of your slogans could be a lot of blisters for a little bit of bliss. I quite like that. So that was about it. It was a good coffee chat, and thanks for everybody for participating. We do have a few more before I head out on my long sojourn here, my long journey, and hope to talk again soon. Bye for now.